Hey guys, this is On Again with God is America's Only Hope. This is video number 8. Many wonder, including people close to me, why I spend so much effort in attacking the atheist group in America, whose organization may only be 4% of the population. Well, first of all, it's because I'm in America, and second of all, because that could be anywhere from 8 to 12 million potential very aggressive and vigilant anti-God activists, because that's just the ones who admit being atheists. So passionate about removing God from society, in fact, that they were originally responsible with far fewer members for infiltrating our public education school system with godless science curriculum, incorporating the Big Bang and evolution theories, and this was a half century ago, despite neither having been proven as legitimate by any objective or empirically defined standards, no matter what you're being told. I was a teacher, I know. Those two theories presented godless creation versions of the universe, which were specifically targeted at young, malleable minds. That is not the end of their destructive legacy, however, worldwide. It is specifically atheists who are responsible for any mention of God, Jesus, and the Bible being removed from our school campuses here in America. But who is naive enough to think that hasn't tremendously affected morality, priorities, and perspectives of generations of children? Some of which are rioting adult hordes we've seen on the news destroying American cities in the summer of 2020. Okay, more significantly, and now this is what I'm talking about worldwide, it is also an atheistic communist government in China that is responsible for COVID-19. That cannot be denied. Additionally, worldwide, atheist regimes in the last 100 years alone are directly responsible for the deaths of more than 100 million of their own innocent citizens who were killed for protesting their godless governments. You see, they have no moral imperative to value life, because to them, life was not given by God, but by a series of arbitrary chemical reactions. And that is the legacy of atheism, by the way. Indoctrinated by a godless education system, many think it's why so many here in America are willing to kill their unborn children in the form of abortion. If our social indoctrination inclined us to respect God's creation, that could never have occurred, in their opinion. 10 million atheists or 10. It doesn't matter. From my perspective, their direct influence worldwide is responsible for hundreds of millions of innocent deaths, and that's my incentive to speak out. The numbers of atheists worldwide could be it could be 1 billion. Nobody really knows. It was Darwin's godless survival of the fittest theory that Hitler directly referenced and justified his merciless annihilation of the Jews. And that cannot be denied. That's why this channel exists. Because of atheism, God is now on America's back shelf, and we have anarchy. And it'll get worse, and eventually much worse if we don't repent. During my research on atheism's reasons for dismissing God's existence, I discovered many revolutionary breakthroughs in science I was completely ignorant of, some of which empirically confirm the existence of intricately designed genetic programming intrinsic to functioning organic life forms. By design, I mean in no way could anyone rationally consider the billions of bits of organized DNA chemical-coded information in each cell nucleus to be the product of multi-billions of arbitrary coincidences rather than intelligently deployed programming. And how could the DNA as well, molecules contained in the cytoplasm's mitochondria, be the product of arbitrary as well? Even most atheists in the science profession are aware of the obvious design. They just refuse to acknowledge it and thereby imply a designer. Again, no plan or design means random by any semantical interpretation or discussion. It's incomprehensible to me that anyone exposed to all the complexity of the human physiology alone, or all other life forms, with all their interactive and symbiotic process systems and component elements required to operate, are considered by some to be the product of a series of undirected, undesigned, arbitrary accidents. This group, embracing this completely illogical fantasy, is known as atheists. In reality, it's almost as though they accept that anything could organize into a functioning living entity if its atomic and or subatomic elements in the quantum realm coincidentally or by happenstance bond in a precisely flawless manner quadrillions and quadrillions of consecutive times. Regardless of what they claim or have claimed in the past, I personally find it impossible to believe they are that stupid. It is a foregone conclusion by any intelligent person that there is a functional design intrinsic to all organic life, essential for operation. They have simply chosen to reject faith in God as a designer and have replaced him with a faith in science. The problem with faith in science is that it creates and constructs nothing, but is rather a series of analytical observations and conclusions addressing already existing substances and phenomena. In other words, they have rejected God out of rebellion posed as intellectual virtue and nobility, and have nothing to replace our designer with but an unconscionably ridiculous series of vapid scientific platitudes. What I'm saying is that they know some force has constructed and maintained the universe. They're just in rebellion against that being, the biblical creation version of that designer. They consider him to be an oppressive hindrance to the pursuit of their self-serving desires and unfulfilled yearnings. In essence, they perpetuate a series of God-disparaging lies and then attempt to intimidate and culture cancel opposing views just as cult leaders do. And many times they do it with great anger and vitriol. And that's what you see in the debates. The more devious ones do it under the cover of feigned nobility. It's for our own good. As a child, I accepted the truth of God's existence because I knew no different. Recently, as an adult, I again fully embraced it only after removing all the atheistic, tainted, educational, and socially embedded lies blurring my perspective. In essence, I was programmed by atheism's invasive scientific and cultural indoctrination to doubt God. But eventually, I was deprogrammed by the actual truth.